Welcome to the PixelBlips podcast for November 4th, 2012. I'm Andy Ryan. I need your vote on Election Day. Next to me is the charter member of the sons and daughters of the nephews of nieces of the American Revolution, Dave DeWart. Dave, what have you been playing this week?
Not a lot. Stuff we're going to talk about later.
We've both been playing Assassin's Creed 3 in different versions.
Incarnations.
Yes. And so we will talk about that later. But you were saying you've been playing
Diablo 3. I finally beat Inferno with the misses.
Yeah. You just like grabbed it and like both of you were like trading punches.
Yeah, we bum rushed it.
And it's like that scene from Office Space, but instead of the printer, it's like
it's Diablo 3.
Yeah,
it's the boxed copy of Diablo 3.
I understand.
And we've been messing around with the monster power, which just ups the damage and life that the monsters do at, for the added benefit of extra XP and gold drops and magic drops and things like that. So
I do love Magic Drop.
Yeah, we do
the
love
game.
Magic Drop. That was a good game. And I think there's like 5 of them or 4
Yes,
of them.
and since you mentioned that, I'm now thinking of that and not anything to do with Diablo.
Oh,
so
that's good. Yay, magical drop. You get to play Gaia and the weird jester thing.
Boop, boop, boop,
Yeah.
boop.
It's like Bust-A-Move, but better.
Yeah.
So what have you been up to?
I've been playing a lot this week. It's kind of interesting. We're getting into that time of the year after the holiday game avalanche starts in
late October.
Really early September, and then we can kind of keep control of it, and we can kind of start rolling with the punches until about mid-October, late October, and into November, which the games just come like so
crap.
quickly. You're
Here's a wall of stuff.
There's so much stuff I want to play, and I can't play it.
Well, you could play it, but you can't afford it.
Yes, so that's the other thing is you have to pick and choose.
Budget the games that you really want to play the most, and then play the other ones after Christmas when they're either on sale or you get
or you
gift
wait for the
cards
Black Friday sales on Amazon or something.
Buy 2, get 1 free type
some really good stuff. So I've been trying this past week to go back and kind of complete some games. So I beat Retro City Rampage.
Okay.
I've almost beat House of the Dead Overkill HD, which is really just my F-off game.
By beat, you mean get super high scores on everything, or actually
beat the story mode? Yeah, beat the story mode.
Okay. Because me and my missus did that in like 4 hours.
Yeah.
But we were just screwing around.
Yeah, but I kept trying to unlock stuff. So
yeah, so stop that.
Yeah, so there was a lot of like I went back and played old levels, all this stuff, and it's like, no, you're just not gonna have time.
No, you won't get it all.
You can't catch them all, Ash.
But I did.
Shut your mouth. Anyway, so I've been playing, once again, something that we'll be talking about later, Assassin's Creed Liberation. But I've also been playing Retro City Rampage, Frobisher Says, again.
Yeah, that was a weird Vita game. That was actually kind of fun, and it was free last week. Is it still free?
It's still free.
It's an always free game?
This might be one of those always free games.
Okay, but there's going to be a paid DLC thing.
Yeah, there's going to be a paid DLC. They have to make money somehow.
But that was a really like WarioWare-esque game that we checked out. You showed me last week after we went to lunch and stuff.
Yeah, it was cool. And it is super fun. And this was said on IGN's Beyond podcast, which is their PlayStation podcast. Yeah. Basically, if you were the person out there that's saying the Vita has no games, you're wrong. Like
it has games.
Yeah, like and at this point in its life cycle, it has more games than the 3DS had at the same point. Like, and there are good games for it.
Well, yeah.
And there are games that I feel everyone needs to play. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's see, what else did I do? Oh, yeah, that is a different show. I watched a movie, actually, called The Bay, which I'm going to take this little bit and just pitch the movie to you. It is basically the movie that saves found footage horror. Like, if you've been watching Paranormal Activity and it's getting really boring, because it is. This is the movie that fixes that. This is... Yeah, this is... I can best describe it as... Jaws meets Cloverfield, and they have a baby with the monkey from Outbreak.
Ooh.
And it is very good, and it's $4 to rent on the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
And it's on iTunes and Xbox Live and all that stuff.
You won't see it on Netflix for at least a month. If
it's also in some theaters at the moment too. So this is kind of a first run thing.
Like a limited release.
Yeah, they've done it before. They've done movies like this before, and it's very good and very disgusting and very weird.
Okay.
Kind of creepy.
Speaking of movies that we saw, I went and saw Wreck-It Ralph yesterday.
Oh, what'd you think of Wreck-It Ralph?
Oh my God, it was so good.
Everyone's telling me I gotta go see Wreck-It Ralph. The wife doesn't want to see Wreck-It Ralph.
Since it's video game related.
Yeah, she said it looks stupid. I'm like, but
it's Wreck-It Ralph, and actually it's not really that like the story's kind of cute, and there's some contrived things and whatever. It's funny, it's silly. I even saw it in 3D and didn't hate it in 3D. Like Disney 3D is pretty good.
That is interesting for Dave because he hates
everything. Because I hate 3D, but it was like, okay, we're here.
I'm the 3D lover. Pour that directly into my eye sockets.
Yeah, well, you don't wear glasses either.
Well, I wear glasses. I have contacts.
Yeah, but I don't. So
well,
anyway, but it was really good in 3D, and it's a really fun, cute movie.
So you would recommend people see it?
I would say go watch Wreck-It Ralph.
So if you were to give it a grade, a letter grade, you would say it's, S being the best. So S is like Raiders of the Lost Ark, Jaws.
I'd say it's probably an A title.
Ooh, really?
I would say it was, the best movie ever. It might be the best Disney-done video game movie ever.
I don't know. Tron's pretty damn good. And Tron Legacy is also pretty good.
Okay, maybe.
Well, I like them.
But it was good.
Shut your hole.
I liked it. And some of the, everybody's talking about, there's all these video game characters in it. There is, but a lot of them aren't real prominent. They're just kind of in the background. Like you see Ryu and Ken, but they don't really have any lines. They have like one line. Sonic's there sort of twice. Like he's on a poster that says if you die in your game.
Does he talk?
He does talk, and it's the guy from the... But it's seriously, it's like 1.5 lines.
Okay, because I hate the sound of Sonic's voice.
Yeah,
I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan. I loved him like from the Sega Genesis days, and then the minute they made him talk, I was like, ugh.
Why you do that to me? But it was a cute movie. I liked it. It's a really, 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 really good kids movie. And I know it's weird for somebody who's like almost 30 to say, I love kids movies, but I love kids movies.
Kids movies are great.
Pixar and DreamWorks movies.
Oh, yeah, and this came out a couple days ago, Retronauts. Something you guys should be watching is the Retronauts lunch break on Fridays. They go through and play old video games, and you can tweet in and talk to them. They were playing the Aladdin titles, the one for the Super Nintendo, the one for the Genesis.
Oh, no.
And the discussion started at which one's better and then devolved into, remember how awesome this Disney movie is? Oh, remember how awesome this Disney movie is? Oh, it's so great. I love Disney.
Yeah.
Because, for guys our age, for people our age, there's really we came we were the right age during what they considered Disney's 90s animated renaissance, where you had Aladdin and Little Mermaid and Lion King was big. Oh, Lion King was the biggest thing ever in my youth.
Yeah.
So I think we still have that big chunk, that lovable chunk for Disney.
We do. As much as we may not like Disney now that they bought LucasArts, but
I don't care. Here's the thing. Everyone's like, oh, how dare Disney buy LucasArts? Two things. First thing, when Disney bought Marvel for $4 billion 2 years ago, we were all like, how dare they buy Marvel? They're going to ruin Marvel.
They've pumped out all these really awesome movies.
Yeah, and literally and then Avengers happens, and all is forgiven.
You know what? And
Second thing.
Okay.
Remember the guy that used to own Star Wars?
George Lucas?
Yeah. Remember Star Wars?
Who's to say that? Well, okay, Disney probably won't.
Literally.
Too bad.
It would have to be so bad.
They'd have to have 2 hours of nothing but Jar Jar to make it worse.
Okay, do you realize how low the bar is for new Star Wars shit? Literally.
I guess.
The bar is so low, it's in the floor. The bar is so low, it's a trench.
It's a trench in the Marianas Trench.
Yes. So
I
wouldn't be mad. I would keep your hopes up, but I've never been that big of a Star Wars fan anyway.
Yeah, no, I'm not worried about it either. I'm just kind of trying to figure out how they're going to do, the new games and stuff that are going to come out. And, how is that going to affect? Are we going to get another Kingdom Hearts, except Darth Vader's going to be in it?
That would be awesome.
Darth Vader in Kingdom Hearts?
Imagine this. Okay, so
Jar Jar in Kingdom Hearts?
No. So you're playing Kingdom Hearts. Okay, here's Andy's pitch. You're playing Kingdom Hearts.
Right.
It's Kingdom Hearts 3. And Goofy is on your, you usually have
Goofy and Donald.
Donald. Not this time. Just Goofy. But Captain America, and you're fighting Darth Maul. What? Literally,
there's a fight
88.
where you're chasing
every
Boba
single
Fett.
every single nerd that just is watching our podcast literally just had a baby in their pants.
Oh my god. We're due. Okay.
But yes, so I wouldn't be mad about it. But it is interesting to show how that one event on Monday has literally bled into every part of nerddom.
I know. It's just so terrible. But we'll see. We'll see. I mean, I would like to see R2 and C-3PO in, Kingdom Hearts. That would be
cool.
Just to say, even if R2 is nothing more than a vendor.
Or if, since we've gone back to the Little Mermaids Atlantica level so many damn times, why don't we just, Mos Eisley?
Yeah, there you go.
Or Endor. I mean, Disney loves cute, fluffy things.
And there's tons of Ewoks on Endor.
Dude. I got it. Ready?
Yeah, uh-oh. There's an entire
Dwarf and Ewok throwing mini game. Snow White on one side, Leia on the other side, Chuck and Dwarf. There we go. See,
flinging them.
would be great. Would be great.
Angry Birds-esque with catapults. And
it
all?
would be fun.
Okay. So anyway,
Yes.
after that 5-minute tangent, what were we doing?
The cosine of the sine is what?
What?
Okay, so we'll get back into news because I haven't really played much else except for one of the things we're going to talk about. We don't want to talk about it yet. So a little bit of news. The PlayStation Store, we finally got the update.
Which I'm not happy about.
You're not?
I don't really like
I
it.
like it.
I know you like it.
We'll do this pro and con. So give me a con, I'll give you a pro.
The layout seems not... Stop doing that. I don't like the new layout. I know it's similar enough to the way the layout was. It seems a little bit more laggy to me.
Okay.
You know, I'm on Wi-Fi, you're on Wi-Fi too, but I don't know why, but mine's always laggy.
Okay.
Even when I'm playing
So
games.
so like sliding through the stuff.
Yeah, on the sides. It kind of seems like they set it up for Kinect. That's really what it feels like. It looks and feels a lot like the Xbox
It does feel
dashboard.
like the Xbox dashboard.
And it looks like you should be able to go, okay, here.
Yeah,
and then here, and then here.
the whole tiles thing, which is what we've kind of gotten into, where like you showcase stuff
With Windows 8 and
Yeah.
Xbox Live.
and now this.
And this. And then kind of the Wii dashboard is sort of the same way,
Yeah.
but you can't really customize it like you could the other stuff. And I don't know what the Wii U dashboard is going to look like, but probably something similar. 'Cause you could do
Okay,
stuff
so there was a con.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take that con. I'm gonna blow magic dust on it.
it's going to be awesome.
It's gonna turn into a pro. Ready?
All right.
Watch.
Okay.
Here's the pro. So the one thing that I think the new PlayStation Store look does really well and does a lot better than the old PlayStation Store look, light years better than the Wii Store look, and definitely much better than the Xbox Live Store and even iTunes.
Okay.
And I'm even going on a limb here and say even Steam, is it showcases stuff.
It does have a large area for you to see all the new stuff.
It
And
literally, like when you log into it, I was going to, remember we said I watched that movie The Bay.
Yeah.
When I went to go get The Bay, this is when I had to re-download it and everything.
Yeah.
So I logged into it. I logged into the video side of the store, which it's now unified. There's no. We should stop saying video side and game side. They're just it's the store.
It's one store. They just have a video section and a game section. You don't have to fill the store.
When I popped into that, it loaded up this huge image of Amazing Spider-Man, and Amazing Spider-Man give you a link to buy it and everything, and then everything else was around it. So like there was the Amazing Spider-Man here and the different things here.
The way it used to be, because there was, you'd have your little bar on the side,
Yep.
and then you had your pictures, but it was only 3 at a time instead of like 10 at a time.
Yes.
So
This
they use
one
the real estate
has-
more efficiently.
Yeah, this one has no wasted real estate.
Yeah.
And it
It's very-
showcases stuff. And apparently, according to the PlayStation blog and all this stuff, what is showcased is based on what is selling well and what is popular.
Huh. Okay.
So whereas the Xbox Live showcases shit they want you to buy,
stuff that
and
you may
Doritos,
not care about.
and Mountain Dew, here they're showcasing, like, when I went into the retro, the PlayStation 1 Classics, I believe it was a shot of Final Fantasy VII.
Well, yeah.
Because it's the #1 selling thing on that store.
Oh yeah.
So they've coined this as hero moments. So the hero for the video side was Spider-Man.
Okay.
But I've also seen mock-ups where the hero for the video side is like Daniel Tosh. So it's really based on
whatever's popular, whatever most people
whatever's
are watching
selling
right now.
And the good thing is a lot like video stores and retailer stores, we talk about showcasing stuff. This is a store that does that.
Yeah.
Where the other stores don't really.
Yeah.
I mean, Xbox Live kind of, Steam kind of, but this literally puts it straight up. The largest thing on the page is the most popular thing on the page. And if you don't like Spider-Man, or you don't like Prometheus, or you don't like Saints Row the Third, or if you don't like Saints Row the Third, what's wrong with you?
Yeah, that game is crazy.
If you don't like the things that are being showcased, I can understand where that would be a bad thing.
I didn't.
That
I didn't even know
so
that
much
they
real
had
estate.
that built into it, where it was this is the popular stuff. I thought
Yep.
it was just hey, here's a new Spider-Man thing. Like this is new. This is what you're.
In the what's new section, that's where they choose it. But they said everywhere else it is what is selling
what
the
is
best.
currently top seller. Cool.
Or
That's neat.
top rated or whatever.
Yeah, so I really haven't messed with it much. I just kind of I went to the store because I was going to look.
So there was pro, con. Give me another con. There's got to be something else you don't like about
it's
it.
too dark. I don't like the black. It's cleaner. I like it.
Yep, it's cleaner. I like it.
I don't know. I just
it actually made me hate the Vita PlayStation Store.
Yeah, and
I was like, why are you this beautiful? From a design perspective, like this is a store that gets it right most times, and the search works excellently and is very quick. Whereas the old PlayStation Store was really bad at search. This one is excellent at search.
Like I said, I haven't messed with it much. My initial thing was,
I hate it. It's
I don't
different.
like it. It's different. I'm used to the blue.
We have a black president. He's Muslim. It's bad. It's different. I'm just getting that. I'm just poking.
I'm gonna say I don't care about that.
It's different. They changed the pumpkin spice latte. It's not the same.
There you go. That's more along the equivalence.
How dare 7-Eleven change their Slurpees? I love this one.
I don't want green Slurpees. I want my red and blue. But yeah, so I mean, the PlayStation Store, they needed the revamp. And
they needed it. I didn't realize until they started really talking about like the changes they were going to make, how sucky that thing was.
Yeah, and I'm
sure
it
hadn't been updated for 4 or 5 years.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
it's been a long time since before I bought. Because I remember seeing it initially, and it was
the initial one was.
And then they gave it this facelift, and it's like, okay, that's cool. And then they gave it this one, and it's probably better. I haven't messed with it much. I said, initially I was like, I don't like this. I'll have to sit and mess with it and see what I think later. But that's cool. So if you want to move on, or do you have any more good things to say about the PSN?
No, I didn't have much to say. I do like the look. I like the look a lot. And I like the hero showcasing. Because that is something in our industry, especially with indie games and online games, needs to be done really badly. Like, if an indie game comes out, of course, people watching the podcast, we're informed, we're going to know about it, but the vast majority of people using these services won't know about those things. And that's how games are born to die. Yeah.
That's kind of sad, because there's a lot of really good indie games. Like, I hear, even though it's a little weird looking, Elysium on the 360, can't remember the whole title. Even though it's all the characters are animals and stuff, and it's really weird, apparently is a very, very good game, and it makes me want to go at least check it out. But most people have never even heard of this game. Yeah. They don't have no idea what this is. They might have seen it once on their Xbox, but they're like, Call of Duty.
If you watch Indie Game the movie, the Super Meat Boy people talk about this a lot. Like, you need to be showcased, and I think between it being the highest rated games and the most sold, and that this hero functionality is built into all items on the store, so they can just, dynamically update it all the time.
It'll happen whenever something overtakes.
Whenever
Final
something,
Fantasy VII.
Not that that's ever going to happen, but when something does, when they release Lunar 2 complete,
Lunar 2 Eternal Blue on the PSN,
because that will it better.
I doubt it will, but it would definitely be something that whenever something
it can just dynamically change, and that's good. That's good for our industry.
Does it give you a top 10 list?
Yes, it does. It breaks stuff down: genre, what's popular, highest rated, best selling.
So maybe I will like the store better. I just need to mess with it more.
Because it's different.
It's different. I don't like it. It's too dark. All right.
Okay, so we've both been playing Assassin's Creed 3 in various iterations. I'm going to talk about mine first. On Tuesday, I went out and bought Assassin's Creed Liberation. I still cannot get over how tiny these boxes are.
It's like a piece of bread.
Yeah.
It's about that size.
So one thing I do want to talk about is, as you can see inside here, there's no manual. All the Vita games have online manuals. And
there's not really a manual in the big one either.
This is probably the largest stumbling block for this game, is that it doesn't teach you really well.
It doesn't have like a really good, here's how you play mode.
There's a tutorial.
Well, there's a tutorial,
but it doesn't teach you enough.
Yeah, it doesn't.
So just the quick bullet points on the back of the box here for the review. It's good. If you're a fan of Assassin's Creed, you'll like it.
And you have a Vita, which might be a rarity.
Yes. If you have a Vita and you're looking for a game to play that you've played all the other games on the Vita, this is a good one. It's enjoyable. If you are new to the Vita and you have this game, and I like to compare it to another game, I feel reviews work best. If you're choosing between, at the same price point, Assassin's Creed Liberation and Uncharted Golden Abyss, go with Golden Abyss. And here's why. Golden Abyss does a lot of things right that this does wrong. Okay. The worst stuff in Golden Abyss, the touch screen controls and stuff like that, they're in here and they don't work as well for whatever reason.
Well, how many other than the 2 instances that I know of where you build up your little meter and then you touch the guys.
That's fun. That works fine.
That works fine. What about when you're rowing the boat? You have to swipe.
That doesn't work fine.
No, not so much. You have to swipe the back of the screen.
And you have to get on the rear touchpad and you have to kind of caress it weirdly, and it's
very
hard.
Odd way.
Yeah, it's hard to get a good rhythm going. The canoe mini game in Uncharted Golden Abyss, you can use the rear touchscreen or the front touchscreen, and it works much better.
Well, because you could see what you're doing on the front touch.
Yeah,
the back
and
touch
literally
is just a little weird.
On basically the player feedback on Assassin's Creed Liberation is you do this long slow swipe and she'll row.
You'll see the swipe along the side of the screen as well, right? Oh no. Okay.
So
it's just in the demo video.
In the demo video. So in Uncharted, you do the long slow swipe, and as you're doing the swipe, he actually picks up the oar and rows in time with you. Okay. So it's really easy to kind of get into the flow of it. Not in this one. Other thing Uncharted Golden Abyss does well that this one doesn't is the near functionality. This thing does absolutely nothing to explain to you how the near mini game works.
There's a near mini game?
There is a near mini game, and
okay.
it's the same as Uncharted's mini game, where you're trading items in the world. So you'll find like a special book. Like at the moment, I have Gulliver's Travels, and you can put that up on near so people can trade it with you.
Okay, and can you find multiple copies of the same book?
Yes.
Okay, so if you have to get the whole set, if you want to collect them all, you would trade out with other people. Okay.
So how Uncharted did this well is they broke everything down into like sets. Like there were sets of playing cards, there were sets of coins, there were sets of antiques, and you said, I just want this set, stuff from this set. So then someone would upload whatever token they had, and when you downloaded it, it would come as one of the tokens from that set.
Oh, okay.
This doesn't do that. That's one. The multiplayer in this is not explained at all.
Is there even...
I dug through the manual, and I looked at it, and the multiplayer in this is basically a strategy card game. Yeah.
Well, I guess it would be kind of hard to do the full-on multiplayer on the Vita.
It's asynchronous, so it plays a lot like a Facebook strategy.
So it's like playing chess with somebody somewhere else.
Yeah, but you're all playing chess.
At the same time.
It's one game board. It's one giant Earth-sized game board.
Like a big game of Magic.
It's basically like the world's largest game of Risk.
Okay.
But two things. One, it's not explained well. Two, it requires energy, which is a recharge time, which is the worst part of free-to-play games. And I really don't know why they did it here.
So you can only make so many moves at a time?
Yes.
Oh, it makes sense.
And you earn. It's not clear how you earn more people in your little army.
So it's an unclear board game.
Yes, and at the basis of this board game, and we'll get to the good stuff in a bit.
Yeah, I mean.
Okay, so the basis of this board game is people are either assassins or Abstergo.
Assassins or Templar.
Yeah, Templar. If you were playing this game and you went into the multiplayer, what team would you choose?
I would assume it would put you on Assassins, but it probably randomizes you.
No, it gives you the choice.
Okay.
So you would choose Assassins.
Probably, yeah.
Yeah. So would 9/10 of everyone else that plays this game.
Plays that game.
Literally, every time I've logged into this over the past week, it has said
800 Assassins and 2 Templars.
Yeah. When you click on the team, it says Abstergo is outnumbered and overwhelmed, and they're putting more resources towards victory. It doesn't matter. You can have all the resources you want, and you're still going to die because everyone else in the world is an assassin. Yeah. It doesn't work well. If they were to patch anything, I would patch a tutorial into that multiplayer.
Okay. So you yay on the game itself, but boo on the multiplayer.
So here's the thing. You've heard me complain about a lot of stuff that this game does wrong. All that stuff that I've complained about is tertiary to the actual game.
You don't need to screw with all this other stuff.
You don't need the multiplayer. The touchscreen controls, you can actually, the paddling of the wagon you can do with a button. It's very, the bad stuff is non-essential. The essential stuff is good. As a person that hasn't played an Assassin's Creed since the first one, I love this game.
Well, you're missing out. You really need to go pick up AC2. At the very least, AC2 and Brotherhood. You could skip Revelations.
The assassin mission, the world of New Orleans, they introduced this cool thing in here called Persona, where basically the main character, Aveline, she can be an assassin, a slave, or a debutante, based on what she's wearing.
You put on a costume and she changes it up a little bit. Okay.
Yeah. So like the debutante, you can get past guards, you can bribe people and stuff. but you can't climb around assassin style.
Well, no, because you're in a big, heavy dress.
One of the cool things about the slave is the slave, since no one really pays attention to them, you can kind of pick up a box, just
And
like a
walk
parcel,
around.
and just walk around through guards and then get to the person you're going to assassinate and then pop them with your hidden blade.
Okay, that's cool.
Yes, so that is one of the cool things.
That's kind of, I mean, that's essentially you could do the same thing in AC3, and you could do it in 2. You put on a costume to kind of get away. Usually you dress up like a guard to get somewhere, but
Yeah,
same
this
deal.
is more expounded on that.
Yeah.
Occasionally they do force you to wear one
To
costume
put
or
you
another.
in one of the 3 sets.
The missions are the weakest when they do that. So
when you're given the choice to do it. Now, can you change that up on the fly, or do you have to go back to
you have to go to a changing room, but you can buy changing rooms anywhere.
So you just have to unlock them.
So they're like Grand Theft Auto. You unlock the garages.
Yeah, as you go to them. Okay.
Same thing in here.
That's cool.
Very good. If you want an open world action game, I highly suggest
your
it.
Vita.
For your Vita. However, stay the hell away from the multiplayer.
Don't do the multiplayer unless you want to play a Templar, but you'll probably lose.
Yeah, I've played a Templar a lot, and we got the Kansas City node. I at one point I controlled.
Is it actual like?
Yeah,
world
it's actually the
locations?
world. There's actually like geolocations.
Oh, okay,
So
that's
like the
cool.
closest one to us is Kansas City, which is nice.
'Cause
St.
that's
Louis
where we
doesn't have one. Oklahoma City doesn't have one. Frickin' Nebraska doesn't even have one. We do.
Hey, we're spiffy.
So at one point in the morning, I woke up and with a cup of coffee, went through all my energy and everything, and captured the Kansas City node for the round. The round lasts like I think a day. Yeah, we still lost.
Yeah, it's gone.
And they took the node because you can't play this all the time.
Yeah.
And
When you're outnumbered 100 to 1,
Yeah.
not gonna happen.
so
Okay.
they probably should have thought of a better way. There's like 3 or 4 trading mini games in here where you own a trading company.
Yeah. You can do that
I would have loved that as the multiplayer, but instead they went the other
to
route.
make money off of each other.
So I would say, if I were to give it a number, I would say 6 to 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's good. If you have a lot of stuff for your Vita already and you're looking for something new, I highly recommend this. Well, I recommend it.
Yeah.
If you're new to the Vita, go buy Uncharted Golden Abyss. You'll get more fun out of it.
And if you don't have a Vita, don't buy it for that.
Yeah, if you don't have a Vita and you're on the fence and you're like, I really like Assassin's Creed, I'm a big fan of the series,
I still might buy a Vita just so I can play that game, though.
I would say if you're an Assassin's Creed fan, this is a good game. You'll enjoy this game.
You'll enjoy the single player anyway.
Yes, and the single player has some cool metagame stuff with the whole hacking. Because basically, in Assassin's Creed...
I don't know what the story setup is for that.
Yeah,
either.
so Assassin's Creed, you're Desmond and you go into the Animus.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is basically turns your Vita into an Animus, and you're a Templar agent that is a recruit, and you are training...
So you are the person who replaces Desmond in the AC.
Yes,
the home
but there's
console.
no... I mean, it's
Okay.
it's very broad with that.
Yeah.
There's at one point there's a hacker that hacks into the system and tries to show you what really happened with Aveline de Grand Prix in history and everything, and that's cool. That's interesting.
That's neat.
I mean, it turns basically into a hunt, find this person and kill them mini game, but it makes it fun.
Okay.
And it does shine light on the rest of the Assassin's Creed story. If you're on the fence, you want to buy a Vita, you don't know if you should, because the Vita's a fun system. You'll like it. There are games out for it.
Like this.
This, probably a B level game, I would say.
Wait for it to drop to 30.
Yeah, or 20 or whatever, depends on your own personal pricing. But if you're waiting on this game to buy a Vita and you're an Assassin's Creed fan, go buy that Vita, because there's going to be other stuff there that you're going to want to play. You won't be upset with this, really.
Okay.
So that's my review
So
of
that's
Assassin's
his
Creed 3 Liberation. And this apparently picks up quicker than that does.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so I've been playing AC3. Here's my shiny pre-order box. It's awesome.
Which is weird. He just told me he got this pre-order box months ago.
Yeah. I totally got that box like when I put the pre-order down.
That's
in
the
June
world
or
we live in now.
So with AC3, it's a lot of the stuff that he's been talking about as far as, you do the costume thing, and you can do whatever. But it takes a really long time to get started. Like, you don't actually play Connor for the first 5 hours, 4 to 5 hours.
Weird.
Yeah, you play a lot of
Well, but this is supposed to wrap up Desmond's story, right?
No. Well, I don't know. I haven't got that far. You play a little bit of Desmond, like after the first.
For those of you who don't know, Assassin's Creed, the series, works on 2 things. It works on the main game and what we call a meta game, which is a game built around the game. The meta game is that you're Desmond and you were kidnapped.
Initially, you were kidnapped by Abstergo,
Yeah,
the Templar
you tell.
company, to go back and learn about all the locations of these like ancient weapons.
The
apple,
MacGuffins.
yeah, the apple of Eden, and apparently there's multiple ones of those. There's a key to some giant vault, and that's like the crux of this story. Is you got to figure out what the key is. But a lot of the first like 3 to 4 hours of the game is you're not playing as Connor, the main protagonist. You're playing Connor's dad. And there's a, you know, it tells a story about how Connor came to be and what his dad was before he came to America, and then he kind of, you know, did whatever.
Well, that's good, because one of the things...
Yeah, there's a lot of build-up, and then, but like the first sequence, you're in England and you have to do an assassination mission, you run out. You don't even see the title screen, like the big splash AC3 screen, until like 45 minutes in. You have to complete this mission and then get out.
I'll flip side you on that. One of the things in Assassin's Creed Liberation's main campaign, single player, is the character drive for Aveline de Grand Prix is not always clear.
Yeah.
They don't do a lot of time setting up the characters in this one.
Yeah.
Apparently they spend an enormous amount of
time. And then, you know, once you do take over Connor, once his village is burned to the ground, he has his list of guys he needs to go kill, and it sets up a lot of, you know, why Connor is becoming an assassin and why, you know, who he's after.
So it's good. So even though it takes a long time to start,
yeah, in the 8 hours that I've played of it, that it says I'm about 18 to 20% done.
When was the last time you played a Call of Duty for 8 hours?
Never. When you played through the single player and you died a lot.
Yeah.
But no, it's really fun, and there's just a ton of stuff. Like Boston alone, if I had to guess, the city of Boston that they recreated in the game is probably the size of Rome from Brotherhood.
Interesting.
It's almost the size of Constantinople, which is where the majority of Revelations takes place. And then you still have the frontier and New York, and I think Philadelphia to run around in. So this game is just absolutely massive. And to go with that, hey, there's like 8 bazillion collectibles.
Yeah, that's the other thing that points out a new collectible to you every 5 feet.
Yeah, it's like, hey, there's a chest here. Okay, there's a feather over here. Okay, you have almanac pages.
That's open world game.
That's an open world game. That's just to kind of kill time. But you know, on top of, you know, having this huge world, the combat has been changed up enough for me to notice it. You know, you no longer have to you target the guy to kill him. You can kind of just flow into the counter kills, which was a big thing for the second and third games. Like the second and a quarter, second and a third, whatever. The entire AC2 series. Which they got into it and it works out really well. Now it's even better. You jump from guy to guy. I still wind up using a hidden blade more than I use the tomahawk or the gun or the bow or whatever.
Yeah, I use in Assassin's Creed Lib. I use the hidden blade a lot.
But the hidden blade allows you to do silent kills, so you can kill somebody, drag them off, and nobody will be the wiser, which is great because
there's no dragging in this.
Huh?
There's no dragging in Liberation.
Well, you can carry them, like after they die, you can pick them up.
No, there's none of that.
Throw them in a haystack, or throw them off a building, which is always fun, or into the water, or whatever.
Poison the water supply.
Yeah, you can do that. Oh, well, I mean, like into the ocean.
So hearing you talk, okay, so here's my drive. So if I were a person at home and I'm listening, hearing you talk about Assassin's Creed 3 and me talking about Assassin's Creed Liberation, I would probably think that Assassin's Creed 3 is the way to go.
Well, but it's also...
Because I have reservations. You don't sound like you do.
Well, okay, there are a couple things. The change to the combat system threw me off. Like, it takes a minute to get used to if you've played 2 and 2.5 and whatever. You know, the flow's a little bit different when you're free running as well. They changed it so that you no longer have to hold the shoulder button and the X or the A button, whatever it is on the 360 button, or the 360 controller, because you can just run. And as long as you're not holding the jump button, you will run and then you will stop when you come to a ledge that you don't have anything to jump to.
Yeah, that's how this one works.
Which is great, because I killed myself so many times. And you know, the whole sinking where you have to climb to the high point. There's not a lot of high points in 18th century Boston.
Yeah, that's one of the fun things about Liberation is the game looks its best at those sinking points, and I kind of started finding those just because I was like, ooh, New Orleans looks so pretty when I do this panoramic
When I'm
shot.
all the way up here, it looks awesome. So you wind up using trees a lot, and the trees, those are kind of buggy. Like
yeah, so they're buggy in Assassin's Creed.
Sometimes you have to like move over just a half an inch in order to swing to the next branch because that's how it's scripted for him to do it. And a lot of times I've gone to the sink point in the tree and I've jumped out of the tree and died.
Yeah, Yeah, every bug that I found in Liberation has been because I was climbing a tree, or because I was trying to run through a crowded market. One time Aveline was running, I jumped over something, and then I got stuck.
Yeah.
Like in the air, and she's just running.
I haven't really gotten stuck. It does kind of bother me that there are like trees in the wilderness that it looks like you could pass through them, but because of how the models are set up, you can't pass through them.
Same thing in Lib.
And you should be able to like walk between two trees, even though they're a little thick. But whatever, that's like marginal stuff. You can still get around. There are like twice to 3 times as many hiding spots. You can hide in tall grass. You can still hide in brush piles and haystacks. You can hang people from trees with your rope dart. I like that. The addition of the rope dart to the combat makes it a lot more fun in the woods when you're stalking an entire group of British soldiers, because you can hang 2 or 3 of them from a tree and that's an instant kill. Yeah. As long as you can get back up into the tree before they catch you. It is a little weird though. Like the trees have, normally tree branches don't go like this. Yeah. For tree on tree on tree. That's a little off-putting, but that's just a contrivance you have to deal with. It's a game. It's a game, yeah.
So your opinion of Assassin's Creed 3, if someone's on the fence about whether or not they should buy it?
If you have never played an AC game, don't worry about it, because there's a whole fat info dump right at the beginning. Like, this is Desmond, this is what he's done. He went through Altair and Ezio and all that. If the story is what you're worried about, don't worry about the story. Play the game. So I would definitely, this is one of those, pick it up this year, and if you don't pick it up this year, pick it up eventually. It's a good game. Play the crap out of it.
Cool.
I'm going to play it again on my PC whenever that version unlocks.
So it sounds like between Assassin's Creed, pick that one up. Between Assassin's Creed 3 and Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation, if you have $60 and you're wondering which one to get, Assassin's Creed 3. If you want to try
this one and you want to play it on the go.
Yeah, this does an excellent job of Assassin's Creed on the go, which hasn't been done before. Or well.
Well, yeah, because there was one for the PSP,
which I played, but I didn't like.
It was
There was one for the DS.
Yeah.
Yeah. But so, Assassin's Creed, and we'll see you next week. We'll be doing something next week. There are more games coming out. Oh my God, there are more games coming out.
There's a ton of games coming out every week until probably Christmas.
They changed the street date for Persona 4: The Golden, which is I have only 2 games pre-ordered. Must buy this holiday season: PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale and Persona 4: The Golden. And they changed the street date. They're both on the same day.
Oh, so now you're gonna have to drop $120. Well, $100.
$100. And let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Persona 4: The Golden is going to be the better of those 2 games.
Probably.
Persona 4: The Golden is probably going to be in contention for greatest Vita game ever, and will probably be in contention for Game of the Year.
I wouldn't say Game of the Year.
Of cross platforms.
Well, yeah, if you do all platforms, yeah.
I mean, the original Persona 4 is the highest rated PlayStation 2 game.
Oh, okay. So it's a updated port.
Yeah, it's an up port. There's a lot more stuff.
An up port.
Famamitsu gave it a perfect score, or almost perfect score. So
that's cool.
So I'm excited for that. Don't forget to spay and neuter your Pokemon. We will see you next week.